Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Scarice. Welcome. Let's see here. Welcome to the Creative Birth Strategy Podcast. This is Joe Scarice, your co-host, co-founder of the podcast. I want to welcome everybody this morning. We have a great discussion. We're looking forward to discussing master your real estate marketing strategies. So I'm going to get set up here in just a few minutes, and we'll get rocking and rolling, and we'll get into it. Give me 1 second. I want to proudly discuss one thing here. Yordell and I have kind of figured out a couple things, and we're having over 3,000 views a week, which is translating into hundreds of downloads. So please go to our website. We have 100+ podcasts. We cracked 100 podcast veil. Very excited about that as well. So we're here to provide education, strategy, and connection, and hopefully some networking. And please chat away in the chat box. If you want to raise your hand and come up into our discussion, more than welcome to come up. Nobody is not welcome. Listen, we want to try to make sure we are always getting fresh content. We're always working on new subjects, and we're holding events now regionally, which I'm really excited about as well. We'll talk a little bit about that. So coming up this week, I'll be in where the heck am I going to be? Kind of figure that one out here. Greenville, South Carolina for the Southeastern Expo with Anthony Gazazis and the New York Real Estate Expo guys. Really excited about that as well. About 2,000 people are coming to this convention. I'll be also presenting on asset-based lending. And I'm really looking forward to also June. I'll be at the Landlord Expo in Indianapolis, Indiana with Jeffrey Taylor. We've been marketing that for him as well. So sign up. Please call and come by. Love to see you. I'll have a table there and I'll be speaking briefly on asset-based lending fundamentals. But we have a really great month coming up of education. We have some great events scheduled out in June, very powerful. First Monday of the month is our South Jersey Elite Dealmakers. Second Monday is our Philadelphia Elite Dealmakers. Second Wednesday is our Lehigh Valley Elite Dealmakers. Let's go back to the first week. We also are now going to be in Delaware, where we're going to be at the Delaware Creative Mastermind Group. Very excited about that, as well as the Creative Mastermind Group of Connecticut. And then we're going to be in North Jersey in the third week. We also have our underwriting course coming up on June 21st. So if you want to fly in or drive in and come to the underwriting course, we're going to spend a whole morning into early afternoon in Philadelphia, going into underwriting, going into white label marketing. So if you want to make your plans and come in on the 20th, that would be great. And we could get you set up for Saturday morning, and we'll stay there until at least we'll probably get started at 9 o'clock. Open the doors, have breakfast, coffee, and then jump into the underwriting course as well. Going to about 1 o'clock as well. Let me see if I'll be in Pittsburgh also on the 23rd. Trying to see where else I'm going to be. I think that pretty much gives me the full month. I think we also have a second Saturday event uh, in Philadelphia as well. So the second and third Saturdays we're going to be in Philadelphia. One's more of a networking off-market deal. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I think I'm sponsoring an event on the 12th in Union, New Jersey, Kenilworth, New Jersey, happy hour. So we got a really big week. I'm going to be going over everything with Yordell today, who's our co-founder and co-host of the podcast. And we're going to put a blast out to everybody. We're going to post it also to all our sites where we're going to be this month because we got 12 events. It's a lot to keep track of, but I'm really excited about that. So next thing I want to do, I want to thank our sponsors. Without them and their support and their marketing behind us, we wouldn't be here. All right. I want to thank Mr. Gerald Perkins of Perkatech, who provides our social media architecture, our design, our marketing, everything you're seeing out there on my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, Blue Sky. I think we're on TikTok. I kind of lose track. YouTube, where we are. I want to thank him. Google Business Profile, all that is being monitored and maintained by Yordell. Reach out to him and see how he can assist you. I want to thank Lendmark Capital, where I'm a senior loan analyst, providing nationwide asset-based lending, DSCR, fixed to rent, fixed to flip, new construction, multifamily, mixed use, and single family through four family, nationwide in 46 states. So if you want to sit down, we'll go into an advisory a discussion, or if you want a white label, learn how to broker or correspond or money or be a referral partner, more than happy to get you set up and work with me, and I'll be your wholesale account executive. I'd like to thank MB Capital Solutions, where I am a referral partner in the unsecured business line of credit program, where we're providing unsecured business lines for clients throughout the country, really leveraging and creating that 100% financing opportunity for a lot of investors as long as they qualify. I want to thank Miss Linda Pelagas of Realty 411, who provides nationwide um, uh, publication with Realty 411 as well as national events. And then I want to thank Elite Dealmakers, where I'm hosting events on their behalf in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania on a month-to-month basis with those guys out of Virginia. Very happy about that relationship. So we're going to keep that moving along. And then I'm with TCS Property Management, where I hold my real estate licenses in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And they have property management presence now, like in like 20 different locations throughout the country. So a lot of things going on here. So I'm going to do some quick invite some people in, see who's on the clubhouse room as well. But I think our discussion today, you know, which is I think something you have to visit almost every day. Mastering your real estate marketing strategies. I think it's so important. And I think if you don't really understand marketing, we're going to try to go over some of this today. And I think it's important that you should kind of grasp onto it. I think I might even make a class out of this because I think it's so important for people to market themselves. But first, we're going to dive into the market itself. Can everybody hear me? Did not anybody not hear me? Oh, I didn't realize my audio was not on. So I apologize. I gave a ton of information. Sorry about that, guys. Having a rough morning this morning. You can hear me now? Great. Everybody heard me on the video, but not everybody heard me here on the podcast. So let's get real quick. I'll go over it once again. We are going to post a email out to everybody on all my social media sites of all the events we're holding in June and where I will be in June. So you'll get familiarized where I'm going to be, but I think it'll be also help you hopefully connect, and hopefully I can make some proper introductions for you guys and help you, really network yourself. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. I already thanked all our sponsors. Not everybody heard me on the mute, so I apologize about that, but I do not want to repeat myself. So we're going to dive into mastering your real estate marketing strategies, but let's get updated in the market. Not a lot of excitement this past week. Market did move up a little bit on rates. They did hover over 7%. They were about 7.02, and I still think we have an opportunity to kind of see rates come back down, but you have to follow the market. Right now, I don't think the Fed has really any or all impact on the market right now. I think right now you got to follow the data, follow the reports. Inflation's leveling off. Job reports are okay, but there's definitely going to be a unique opportunity here. It leads into existing home sales slow amid weakened buyer demand. So, what does this tell us as real estate professionals and investors? This is a buyer's market. This is an opportunity to take advantage of a real estate scene that really, I think, is really going to be an investor play for at least the next 24 to 36 months. I really see 2026 as a recovery year, a great recovery year of some of the things that are being put in place now. But right now, today, existing home sales slow amid weakened buyer demand. And then also, could a recession trigger a housing market revival? Are we in a position where we're going to see a recessionary type of environment in the real estate space? So that's just something important to see as well. Right now, the survey that's out there right now, that 63.4% of people polled expect a recession within the next 12 months, making one of the highest level of concerns since 2019. And nearly 30% indicated that recession would make them somewhat more likely to purchase a home at discount, of course. So is that an opportunity? Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity there. But you got to kind of pay attention to the market. Are there some markets that there's inventory so tight that you can't find an opportunity? Yes. But are most markets softening? Yes, they are. One other article that caught my eye here: U.S. home prices declined for the first time in 2022. So we're seeing values coming down. We're seeing R's coming down. I'm having more arguments and discussions and disputes on values right now than ever before. I think we at least saw a 8% to 12% pullback in values throughout all the urban cities. Most of the urban cities are turning into a rental market with housing affordability issues. There's a movement of a lot of housing authorities buying buildings to fill the gap of Section 8 vouchers. That'll be very interesting to see how that impacts the small landlord. Because if the housing authority is in the business throughout the country, the housing authorities are in the business throughout the country in housing people, right? Which they have been for years. But if they've intensified that, who are they going to look out for first? Themselves or the small landlords to pay on the 5th of the month? Who's monitoring them on those rentals? The management company is going to monitor the housing authority that's paying themselves. So you got to think about some of the common sense narrative here. I'd be a little concerned if I was the landlord. In Philadelphia alone, uh, the housing authority is buying millions of dollars of buildings to facilitate the gap. They're not waiting on the landlord anymore to buy properties and fill them with Section 8. So, very interesting to watch this market turn as you see more multifamily institutional money come to the front line, where it's a lot of B class. So you're going to have more of a separatist environment in some of the cities throughout the country. Um, but you are seeing home prices fall. You're seeing definitely a decrease in values as we speak. So let's see here, invite a couple people up. So let's dive into our subject today, which I did post out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think it's going to go all over, like TikTok. It'll be all over those places. Probably by Tuesday. It's an article that I wrote on mastering your real estate marketing strategies. So, what's the importance of marketing in real estate? You have to be found. You have to be seen. How are you mastering strategies can grow your leads and sales? Number one, you got to define your brand and audience. Who is your audience? What is your brand? Right? Know your target clients. Is it going to be real estate investors? Is it going to be buyers? Is it going to be luxury clients? Is it first time home buyers? Create a consistent brand image and tone. And you know what? It's extremely difficult. Um, I've had a hard time really keeping an eye on what we're doing. So, like, Yordell and I are going to have a conversation afterwards just to reevaluate my websites and reevaluate the podcast and update different techniques. Building a highly convertible website is very important. We retain somebody to hopefully put some Google words and some things into our website. They couldn't do it, so we had to kind of look elsewhere and how we can impact the website. So we're going to take the time and revisit it, and you have to harness the power of social media. Like, it's not all about Facebook. What have you put on YouTube lately? What have you put on TikTok? What have you put on Instagram? What have you put on LinkedIn? I'm very aggressive on LinkedIn. I think there's a unique opportunity there. A lot of inbound inquiries on a consistent basis, but you got to look at the full platform. And everybody listening below and listening on here online, do you have a Google business profile? Can you be found in a Google search? And what's your email marketing and CRM automation? What does that look like? Nurturing those leads with newsletters, listing alerts, drip campaigns. Whether you use MailChimp or HubSpot or Constant Contact, it's important that you got to be consistent. Leveraging social media and Google My Business, optimizing keywords, creating blogs and posts targeting local topics or regional topics. Encourage satisfied clients to leave Google reviews. Video and virtual tour marketing. Video is everything. All these videos that we're doing on the podcast on my side, we're clipping those and putting those out into our social media mainstream. Partnering also with local businesses and influencers. Example, I had a great meeting with 2 property management companies this just on Friday, and we're going to do some business together. we're going to stay very focused on that as well. And it might impact certain things that I plan on doing in in the next quarter. Co-marketing with people. I have no problem. Anybody that wants to have a one-on-one podcast, I want to make it as simple as possible. If you want to do a one-on-one podcast with me, all you got to do is send me a professional picture, a brief bio, a subject of discussion, and 10 questions. And we can get right onto a podcast. Let's market you. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. Track, test, and optimize. Google search yourself and see where you show up in the first couple pages. Now, the scary thing if you don't show up at all. But the more important thing is your information when somebody Google searches you correct. Recap the benefits of strategic and consistent marketing plan and encourage refining and strategy on a week-to-week basis. These are very important things you need to do to social media optimize yourself and mastering real estate marketing strategies, whether you're a real estate agent or a real estate investor. And we'll top on this real quick, and then we'll go to our moderators. Okay. Real estate investors and agents both operate in the real estate industry, but their marketing strategies differ significantly because their goals and audiences and business models are not the same. And I'm going to break down some differences. Real estate agents want to attract clients, buyers, and sellers to list or find properties with them. Their income is commission-based. Real estate investors want to find profitable deals, distressed properties, undervalued homes, rental opportunities, either flip, rent, or wholesale. Their income is based on investment returns. Target audience for the agent is homeowners, home buyers, sellers, and sometimes landlords. Investors, motivated sellers facing foreclosure, divorce, probate. Landlords, other investors, or wholesalers. For agents, some marketing tactics and tools. You need an IDX integrated site, property listings, home tours, farming specific neighborhoods, find a realtor near me, FSBO's expired listings, go after past clients, local community, banded signs not really used, MLS heavily used. Investors, landing pages for lead capture, deal hunting, success stories, before and after. Targeting distressed homeowners. Sell my house fast. We buy houses. See the differences? Investors are looking for distressed property owners with wholesalers and contractors and attorneys. Common theme on banded sites for investors, we buy houses. Investors, do they use the MLS? Often used to find deals or other acquisition for selling. Branding and messaging is definitely different. Agents are messaging, how can I help you buy or sell your home smoothly for the top dollar? Investor messaging, we buy your house fast with cash, no repairs needed. The lead follow-up in CRM for an agent is using CRMs tailored for nurturing long-term client relationships. Real estate drips campaigns, newsletters. Are you putting a newsletter out once a week or once a month or twice a month, real estate agents? And for investors, using CRMs focused on fast negotiation, property evaluation, and deal closing. Using Black Book or Podio with custom automation. While both use marketing to grow their business, the agent focuses on promoting services and the investor focuses on sourcing deals. The fundamental difference shapes everything from messaging to marketing channels. Bob, good morning. Welcome back. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion this morning. Master your real estate marketing strategies.
Hey, good morning. I'm Bob Cheswick with Trustman Corporation. We set up LLCs for real estate investors and pretty much any other business. I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to give legal advice. As far as not being a real estate agent, right? But I typically wind up on the mailing list of pretty much any real estate agent I meet. And when Joe's talking about the different strategies, here's sometimes when it doesn't go right, what it looks like on the other side. So I'll give you the opposite side of the mirror's perspective here. Every time I would go to a networking event, I don't really go to that many anymore, but guaranteed there'd be half a dozen real estate people I would bump into, and it was always the exact same conversation. I am so-and-so with such and such company. Oh, here's my card. Are you in the market for a house? No. Where are you looking? I'm not looking. Okay, great. I'll put you on my listings. Next day, I start all of a sudden getting emails from them with listings in areas that I have no interest in buying over and over and over again. And then suddenly I wind up on other people's listings who work for the same firm. The strategy was exactly the same every single time, scattershot. And the mentality was just throw it out, just throw everything out there. Someone will call you. The only thing that happens is you wind up in people's junk filters. So what Joe's talking about with identifying your market is absolutely key and critical. And I'm not saying that I didn't, I certainly made those mistakes earlier in my career. You just, you throw things out there and hope it works. But once when you start identifying the types of people that you're looking for, the second, excuse me, the second step of it would be identify the people that talk to those people, like Joe was saying, making partnerships with property managers and whatnot. You don't want most connections that are going to come to you, at least this has been my experience, my own business and for many others. It's not who you meet, it's who they know. You still need to put forth the best person you can be, whether you're meeting them online, in person, or wherever the case may be, or just bumping into someone, at a coffee shop or at a chamber of commerce meeting. You want to be the best version of yourself. You need to be memorable and you need to be on point. Know your stuff. Do something that makes you memorable. Not going to mention names, but just as an example, from where I live in Delaware, there is a real estate agent who I have known for however long I've been down there, 20 plus years now. Met him at the very, very first Chamber of Commerce event I ever attended. Any networking event I go to, he's there. And over time, he's just evolved this I can only describe it as unique personality, but also carved out an incredible niche for himself because he understood that Delaware was a market that attracts people from out of state. Okay, well, where are these out of state people coming from? He figured out where they were coming from, started going to events in that area. That's how he started attracting business. Next thing he did, started launching drone tours of the house. So you don't just see the inside. He'd send the drone up. He bought a drone and sends the drone to map out the property. Very, very unique perspective. That was also apparently very challenging when President Biden would be in town back in Delaware because the Secret Service wouldn't allow drones to be flown within a so many mile radius. So very interesting challenge that he had there. But point being, that's an example of someone who carved out a niche and became very memorable over decades, not just years, but decades in the market. And do you have to get that extreme or extravagant? Of course not. But identify who you're trying to target and identify other people related to what you do that are targeting those people. And you'll find yourself flooded with valid leads. Joe, back to you.
So, Bob, you've been around just a little bit in the business. Are you seeing a shift in marketing, though? I mean, I agree with you. There's nothing like being at an event, meeting people in person. But have you seen a shift in that to the online? And do you think people have gotten lazy to go to events post COVID? What's your thoughts?
I've definitely seen more people just decide they want to do everything online. I don't know if I would identify lazy per se, although I can definitely think of a few people that would be. That being said, I think the mentality changed in 2020 and networking events are not attracting the crowds they used to. A lot of them don't exist anymore. And it seems like most of them that I see advertised are more targeted than the general ones that we used to see. I'm not saying that there aren't, the monthly meetups of the Chamber of Commerce and whatnot, but there was that networking group, and again, I'm deliberately not using names. The one you and I met at in Philadelphia all those years ago, that group completely vanished in 2020 and never rebuilt. They were nationwide at that point. So the general networking events seem to have kind of evaporated. And yes, a lot more people are starting to go online and look for things. I actually know people who will scan Facebook groups looking for looking for keywords, and then reading people's posts and then reaching out, offer a few tidbits and try to make a connection that way, which that again is that strategic targeted marketing. But like I said, I'm hesitant to use the word lazy, but definitely people. Um, I, I guess the only way I could put it is, there, and even I feel this way. There's just some days I just don't want to be around other humans, if that makes sense. And I think that's the general mentality of I just want to sit at home in my pajamas and run my business versus going out there. But not everyone's like that. But it is definitely been a shift more towards the I don't want to be around large groups of people anymore. I hope I'm making sense with that.
Well, when is the mothership bringing you back, Bob, to your planet?
Which planet?
Just joke. Guys, I just want to make sure Bob and I have a great relationship. I've known Bob for 15 years. I met him at my very first networking event here in Philadelphia when I first moved down here, and we've been colleagues and friends ever since. And we have our evening talks on my way back from various locations throughout the world. Right, Bob?
Yeah, it's sometimes you call when I've already fallen asleep,
Yeah.
but I missed the last couple of them because um you can generally tell when I'm at my mom's house, Joe, because those are the nights that I'm in bed before 9 o'clock because
Yeah.
the cat wakes me up for breakfast at 4.
Yep, I get it. I get it. Well, appreciate your candor here today. So thanks for being back on here on the call. So, Bob covered a couple things I want to cover before we get to Stephen. Okay. So marketing strategy for the real estate investor or licensed agent, I feel is a little different. Marketing as a real estate investor who is also a licensed agent offers a very unique advantage. You can promote both services as your personal investment activities with added credibility. I'm going to break down a couple things in more of a comprehensive way so you can kind of get your head wrapped around it. Defining your brand, clarifying your unique value proposition, good logo, good tagline. Like we just updated our logos and our taglines on the podcast. We're going to put a whole new video together to it as well. Building a strong online presence, you got to be consistent. It's like the billboard technique. If anybody knows where south of the border fireworks places in South Carolina, there's 152 billboards on the way down before you get to this warehouse selling fireworks. And there's 142 billboards coming up from Florida. So you have 300 plus billboards letting you know about this fireworks place before you get there. So the social media is the same way. You got to do blogging. You got to put articles out. I put out a daily article, posted. It's placed in my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my TikTok, my YouTube. It's posted on my Google business. You got to blog. You got to put articles. You got to stay abreast of the market, providing insight on a day-to-day basis. You got to understand lead generation systems as well. Content marketing strategy. Are you doing video work? Are you doing webinars and workshops? Like Bob was talking about, networking meetings. You know what? We're very consistent. We're now in New Jersey. We're in Pennsylvania. We're in Delaware. We're in Connecticut. We've done events in New York. I also go to various locations throughout the country to speak and present and pull back inbound inquiry. I provide CE. So you got to be something unique. If you think CE will get you in front of more people that you need to know, other agents, I can put you in touch with the school that approved my modules to teach CE for real estate agents. That's gonna separate you from a lot of other people if you're going to be an instructor. You look automatically like a leader. You look like a knowledgeable informant to the subject of discussion. It puts you in front of other local real estate or cash flow groups, building relationships and getting further introductions. I get calls, hey, I took your CE course 2 years ago, and you know what? I have a client for you. That's a great reminder of somebody remembering me from a class that I taught. So being an instructor in CE might be a difference maker in your business. So if you want to have that discussion, I can put you in touch with the group that I'm working with now. They want me to kind of set up as a referral partner for them as well. It's called Preferred Systems out of Pittsburgh. They have like 100 different courses. They'll create a course and get it CE accredited in your state. So if there's a state somebody calls me and say, I want you to come and speak in, I don't know, Florida or Georgia or Virginia or Wisconsin, I just need 30 days and I can get the subject discussion that I really like discussing get it approved, and then go out there and teach it because I'm already approved. All I'm doing is transposing the information and getting approved within 30 days from the next state. So now I'm approved like in 30 states. Is that a selling point to what I do? Yeah, kind of. I think so. It's to me, it's just an extra layer to offer on the resume that it's separating me from a lot of other people. That's networking. That's marketing. I'm an educator. I don't even charge for the course, so I teach it for free for 2 to 3 hours and give credits back. I mean, if you want to host the event and charge somebody to make sure they show up, that's you. I'd always say charge $10 to make sure somebody shows up. I think it's very important. But at the end of the day, you need to stand out in your marketing, who you are, what you do, and what is your why. When I host events, those are the questions I ask. I had an event, a happy hour at my office Thursday night for the UDA group, the Black and Brown Real Estate Development Group here in Philadelphia. And the host didn't come. I was a sponsor. Well, he didn't come till late. Nice guy, but he got stuck somewhere. I don't know what the story was. He didn't get there until 7:30. The event started at 6. So by 7 o'clock, I pretty much knew that we had who was going to be there, about 30 of us. And I took the time to make sure that everybody got the opportunity to introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, and what is their why. And I think people felt good about that. But you also need to feel good about your social media brand and how you market yourself. That's how you master your strategy in marketing. You got to be passionate about it. You got to create that outreach where people feel compelled to inbound you. I have 4 or 5 calls I have to make after this because I have 5 inquiries since yesterday afternoon. So it's very important how you market yourself. You got to track it. You got to test it. You got to optimize it. Let's see what happened here. Yolanda, good morning and welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion. Master your market strategies, your real estate market strategies.
Thank you, Joseph. Good morning. Thanks for the invite up. I am Yolanda Smith-Charles, also known as Yolanda Sells Michigan on all social media. I'm a licensed realtor, an elected official at the county level, and looking at getting a builder's license in the next 12 months. Were you going to say something, Joe?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. And so to your point about, marketing your real estate or mastering your real estate market strategies, I find that the longer you're in the business and, the thing they told you in real estate school was to not be a secret agent. I think that's like part one of owning your market or mastering your market. And so I have found automated systems and tools to help me to show up and be visible and present. So people think I'm always posting, but it's not me, it's automated. And again, just being a connoisseur of my hyper-local market. So what does that mean? It means that I make sure that I'm reaching out to other agents. I am like 60% listings, 30% referring out, and then the rest of it, I'm actually doing agent attraction. That's maybe that's a little taboo, but I'm okay with it because I do believe in passive income. And so that means that I'm, even when people think they're your competitor in terms of an agent versus an agent, they're not. Like, I want to meet agents. So when I go to networking events, and shout out to Joseph, who introduced me to Alignable. I'm usually the first person to tell people about Alignable, but I love it because it's hyper local. It allows me to show up in front of other B2Bs, and there's a lot of realtors on there. And so I'm able to connect with those folks. They are following me, on social, and I'm able to drop certain things that might be percolating up for them in terms of their business. And so just being visible, being present, but it doesn't mean that I have to physically be the one posting those things. But in the last 2 weeks, Joseph and Bob and Steven, I have decided to lean more into my sphere. because I had been, I haven't renewed my real estate license yet because I'm still fairly new. I'll be renewing in July. So what does that mean? It just means that I just wanted to take an evaluative look at my business. And I know a lot of people from my elected life, from my just being a social butterfly to some degree. I know a lot of people. And I said, I went to a Keller Williams training. I'm not a Keller agent, but I went to a training last week and they were just talking about in your phone, in your personal device, it's deals in there. It's deals. And so instead of me chasing foreclosures or FISBOs or old expires, people who don't know me from Joseph or Bob, tapping into my sphere. And so I have unlocked revenue, business by simply doing a couple things, which is every day, I know it's a lot, but every day I send a video birthday gram on Facebook in Messenger to whoever's birthday it is. And then I use I made a card in Canva where it has my brand on there and my name and their name, just for top of mind ability, right? So I have been doing that and the response has been phenomenal. People are so moved and they're like, thank you. It takes me 5 seconds really to do. And so again, just making sure I'm touching my sphere. That is my mission for Q2, Q3, is to make sure I touch my sphere regularly and make sure that they know that I'm in the business, that I'm top of mind for all their real estate needs. And I'll leave it at that. Joseph, it looks like beautiful Linda's here. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Yolanda. Yolanda, have you ever thought about being a CE instructor?
I have indeed. Yes, we need to talk more about that.
Yeah, email me. I'd love to put you in touch with Jameson and Megan. We're putting together something very unique where, whether you want to do real estate investor friendly courses or, obviously the objective to CE is either getting in front of people for networking purposes for lead generation. For me, it's lead generation and networking, getting my name out, getting my brand out. But for an agent, it might be for team building or recruitment in that niche discussion. So you could build your team out based on the CE course that you're instructing. So it could have a two-prong approach in a strategy to market yourself as a leader in that discussion.
I just made a note to self, and I will reach out to you about that. Thank you.
My pleasure. So real quick, and then we got Linda and Steven, and we got to get to as well. Strategies to market online to people you met at a real estate investor group meeting, right? You meet somebody, you hit it off. How do you stay connected, right? Marketing online to people you've met at a real estate investor group is a great way to stay on top of mind, building credibility, turning casual connections into real relationships, and eventually deals. Okay? I mean, the most important thing is getting them on your drip campaign and connecting and engaging with them on LinkedIn, not Facebook, on LinkedIn. Send a personalized connection request to where you met them and maybe something that you're reminded when you met them. Okay, write it down on a business card if you have it, or send a note to yourself. That separates you from a lot of different people because you made the meeting memorable. You made it impactful. All right, invite them to an event. Invite them to speak at your event. You know how many people I meet and say, "Hey, would you love to speak at one of my subgroup meetings?" Put a subject together. Put a brief bio and a professional picture. Give me 10 questions, because the way that I hold my events now, nobody stands and speaks in front of the group. I interview you like a podcast at the event and then involve the people that are there. The engagement has been better. People enjoy walking away with something a little more value add. And you're collaborating with local influencers. You need to share the story if there's a success with someone. Share that in a great way. Stephen, thank you for your patience. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to our discussion. Master your real estate marketing strategies.
Yeah, this is Steve Branco. I'm a broker, investor, cash buyer up in northeastern Pennsylvania, Scranton area, and I also work a lot with wholesalers. And mastering the marketing strategy is actually a more difficult balance, I find, the wider you are and what you do. If you're a lender, primarily, if that's like 90% of your business, okay, that's your keyword. Because I educate, I do wholesale, I do, a broker, it's a little wider. So I've actually been launching two major sort of central brands, the wholesale broker and REI homepage, which I've got to get with your Dell and kind of narrow down and say, okay, how are we going to do it? And I do want to start doing CE in third quarter. But so I want to talk to you about that, Joe. But that's what I'm finding is the biggest challenge, because when they say, well, what do you do? Well, I don't live and die on being a realtor. I don't live and die on being any one category. So finding a way to make it simple and automate. ChatGPT can write some awesome copy for you if you're not that great at that. It can even come up with strategies and tools. I'm changing up some of my back office tools, my CRM and stuff, because I worked with Chat to kind of analyze, this software versus that software, given what I'm doing. Get as much automation and get as much help as you can. But, definitely being visible. I've actually taken a few months off from running my meetup groups to start to go to more meetup groups. And then kind of pick the local one back up on the fall, probably the Scranton one. But definitely getting out of my circle, because a lot of what I do is not local. So kind of understanding what you are. Are you serving local? Are you serving regional? Are you trying to primarily get more agents? Are you trying to kind of get that done and then find those team members? It always comes back to team members. And really, having a good team to help you build that brand, figuring out what that brand is and get it out there. And if you do a lot of things, maybe you have a couple different brands. Maybe you have a couple different categories. But what I found is I need homepage, because when someone says, what's your website? That's my website. Everything is linked off there. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
Steve, I did get your text. I will, if you email me, I will make a proper introduction to the school to make sure you get in front. Listen, all this costs a couple dollars, but I have found the cost benefit. Like, I had a group call me on Friday. They're like, hey, we want to teach CE. Sure. It's going to cost you like $2,500 to set up each class, or they'll give you a slight discount if it's multiple classes. But then if every state you want to certify in, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. Oh, well, I said, I already spent that money. Why don't we just collaborate in the classes together that you want to teach? Because now it's only going to cost me $500 a class, and then you could collaborate with me in the room. So, like, it all depends on what your budget is. It's not as easy as it sounds. Like, I have a social media class, an AI class. I teach that once in a while. I'll teach a short sale class. I'll teach a wholesaling real estate class. I'll teach the asset-based lending course, which I really focus on because it's my class. But people get weird when you're like, oh, we'll partner on it. Well, I don't want to partner. Well, then go spend the money then. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to market yourself correctly in this space, you got to spend money.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I mean, for me, I would rather partner with someone who's already been down the road and someone who's splitting the money or whatever.
It's not even money. It's not even money. You're splitting the leads. There's no money in this, Steve. You know what I mean? Like, you look like a leader. You appear to be the leader. You appear to be an influencer. That's why you're teaching the course, right?
Yeah. And I'm happy to share the leads. I'm happy to share whatever, because I find I get further with the team.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. And, carving out a niche as a real estate professional is a powerful way to stand out in a crowded market. We're very crowded right now. Everybody's on top of each other. Attract loyal clients and build a strong personal brand. I'm going to give you a breakdown to find and dominate your niche, right? Identifying your strengths and your interests. Like, ask yourself, what neighborhood or property types do I know best? Do I prefer working with first-time home buyers, investors, luxury clients, etc.? What's my background? Finance, design, construction. These can become advantages. Example niches: first-time home buyers, luxury real estate, short-term rental investments, eco-friendly or sustainable homes, military relocation, historic or unique properties, multifamily properties. Research the market gaps, analyzing your local real estate market, regional real estate market? Are there underserved buyer seller segments? Which neighborhoods are emerging or transforming? What are other agents not focusing on? Develop a unique value proposition. Why should somebody choose you over another agent or another investor or whatever you want to call yourself? When somebody asks me, when they call me and ask me what separates me from everybody else, I said, I'm talking to you on the phone and I picked up on the first ring. They're like, oh yeah, you did. Okay. And my pricing is very competitive as well. And I'll be able to talk to you through the whole loan process. You'll email me different things and I'll put you in the right direction. If you text me something, I'm going to get an answer for you. That's what I feel separates me in my unique value proposition. Building content around your niche. Marketing is where your niche really shines. Your online presence, a niche focused on focused website or landing page, social media profiles showcasing niche content, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, a blog or newsletter offering helpful advice. And again, like I said, I'm a big fan of putting blogs out. Like this morning, a blog went out based on our discussion today. It's out. It's pushed out. It's on all the sites. And then my Google team will push it out as well more on Tuesday. Another offline way of building your niche, speaking at community events or investor group meetings, hosting seminars or webinars. I got tired of asking people to allow me to speak at their events. I just created my own events and just avoided the minutia. If somebody wants me to speak at their event, that's great. If not, it's okay. I don't mind sponsoring and presenting if it makes sense and cost benefit. When somebody wants $5,000 for 20 minutes of speaking, they're ripping me off. I'm paying for their living. If somebody wants $250 to pay for food and the beverage, or like just buy some food for appetizers for the room for 25 people, 30 people, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to go into the events that are gouging, but I find people being I just called somebody about a meeting where they wanted $5,000 and $7,500 for, I think it was 300 people in the room. And I get to speak for 30 minutes. I mean, I might as well take that $5,000 and market to those same 300 people online. So you got to weigh out the cost benefit relationship to everything you do in your marketing strategies. Okay? Partnering with other professionals in your space to grow as well. Our niche is we'll do one-on-one podcast with you. Now, you're going to have to schedule it with me and stay on top of it. And we can do it on a Friday or Saturday. But, if you don't commit to what I ask and get back to me, why would I make any effort? I'm busy enough just doing this podcast. So doing a one-on-one is something outside my norm, but I like doing them. And I think it's important. So the niche is very important as well in your marketing strategies. Linda, good morning and welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and welcome back to the Creative Birth Strategies House on Clubhouse. Linda, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Clubhouse. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. I'm Linda Pliagas. I'm the founder of Realty411.com. We're an information portal website for real estate investors. We also produce magazines, events, both virtual and live. And I've been a real estate agent in California for over 17 years. For me, it's all about education and marketing when it comes to being the number one agent in your farm. You need to know what's going on in the market at all times. Every morning, I make it a point to scan my local MLS because I want to know what's going on in my area. Is the market going up? Are prices falling? Are certain properties just sitting on the market? Why do you think they're lagging on the market? Are they overpriced? Knowing what's active, pending, and closing is very important. In addition to education, Marketing is the name of the game if you want to be a top producing agent. Here are some ways that my local top producers are marketing themselves. I'm getting monthly marketing reports by mail. Yes, some of them are actually creating one-page reports on what's going on in the market, and they're mailing them to every single person in my area to keep us updated on what's going on. I think this is brilliant. One page is all you need to stay in front of your audience. And it's also more affordable to mail out a one-page flyer than, other types of marketing. My local top producers are also doing a lot of cold calling to local neighbors. They're getting to know them. They're asking them for their business. They're requesting referrals. They're constantly dialing for dollars is what we call it. Although I haven't come across any door knockers in my new neighborhood yet. In my old area in Los Angeles, we had many top producing brokers who were constantly going door to door to meet all the neighbors in person and face to face. Coincidentally, these agents that were door knocking were one of the most top producing agents in my area. A last piece of advice is to start small in marketing and increase your marketing dollars as your business increases and grows. And also find out where people are calling you from. If you're getting business, find out where they heard about you. That way you can focus on the marketing that works best. Now, as Joseph mentioned, find your niche. Niches are in niches. Discover what sets you apart from the pack, from the rest of all the realtors and brokers in your area. You are unique. You are an individual with special talents and skills. Discover what those are and focus on that and market your capabilities to your audience. Those are my tips for this morning. Thank you so much, Joseph, for letting me be a part of it. And back to you.
Hey, Linda, real quick, and thank you for coming back on. I haven't seen you in a minute. What's your thoughts on these investor meetings the prices don't match the attendance? Like, how are you controlling it? Because you run events, right?
Yes.
How do you make it attractive and cost benefit for somebody at this point? Because as we know, these investor group meetings don't get the same attendance of what they once do. And there's no guarantees of anything that you're going to get anything at any of these meetings. So what are you doing, hopefully, to kind of offset that? Because you're holding these meetings in a consistent manner. So I just wanted to get some takes from another investor group meeting holder, somebody that holds events, that charges people for events, whether it's vendor or the attendee. What's your thoughts on that going in 2025, going into 26? What are you looking at differently? And then we'll get to Terrence.
Well, I do know that a lot of event producers are charging astronomical rates to speak in front of the room and even to have tables. We're talking, some of them even $10,000 and up to speak in front of the room, and a few $1,000s for tables. And yes, numbers are, they're not the same as they were before the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, I saw a lot more people at events. There's just so many events going on as well. So, there's a lot of competition to fill the rooms. I do see prices going up. We're proud to say that our prices are remaining the same. And, even though our pricing for marketing has has gone up, and also, of course, venues have gone up, but we're really blessed in the fact that we have, a strong following of speakers and educators and people that are willing to support the events. We're also upgrading tickets. So if people want to eat or if they want, to sit up front, they can pay more money and feel, like a VIP and get more special treatment. So those are some of the things that we're doing, but definitely the event space is very challenging. It's very competitive. And, the last thing I want as an event producer is for a company or an educator to join us at one event and never come back.
Yes.
That doesn't do us any good as an event producer. We rely on continual business. So it's very important that the educators, the speakers, and the companies that do attend get business, get visibility, and get a return on their investment, because we do want the repeat business. So it just makes everything much easier, and we want people to get business. We're not in the event producing business just to make ourselves look good. We spotlight others and the speakers and the educators on our platform, and we definitely want them to get business. So we try and make it as affordably priced for them so that they can get a return on their investment and return back to a Realty 411 event. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Terrence, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts toward discussion. Master your real estate market strategies.
Hey, good morning, Joseph. Terrence Clark here, investor out of North Carolina. Also manage a national platform for real estate agents seeking as is cash offers. I think this message is so timely. I actually just did a training on this last week. One of the things that I really appreciated you saying is, especially I think I saw a post that you made, and I think what it key is trying to come up with, I guess in the lack of better words, to call it the omnipresence, right? Showing up in multiple places where your avatar is actually focused. And I think one of the things that we as real estate professionals need to do is focus on the emotions and pain points that the target avatar is actually going through, so that you know how to show up for them and be that authority and someone who they want to be around. You asked Linda a very good question about, for the investor meetup, how to continue to add value. I think it's really about trying to figure out what are they going through right now. How can you add value to those pain points that they're seeing in today's market to get them to want to engage and be around you. So I think with investors, it's always going to come down to one, something that you already offer, which is funding, and then the second thing being deal flow and sort of strategy. So I think if you can answer those questions and bring that type of value, I feel like your avatar will show up. Where you can, and we're talking about sellers, right? Like taking your unique avatar, whether it's for sale by owner, buyers, let's say.
Did we lose Terrence? He was on a roll. Terrence, we can't hear you. Try again. Can you unmic? Well, Terrence was giving some great gems there. I do appreciate him. Now he's on a call, so we'll dive back into where he was going. I think I got a good idea where he's going. You gotta pitch a flag. You gotta get out there in front of people. What is the best strategy to get in front of people? I mean, personally, I think your social media platform has to be solid. It's got to be consistent, good content, and you got to feed it like a garden on a day-to-day basis. There's no day off. So whether it's going to be yourself doing the marketing at first, or you hire a group to do it for you, it needs to be done. You need to keep the lights open. I feel personally, real estate education is one of the best marketing strategies, but not always for the best for every situation or every audience. Terrence, are you back? Let's see if he can come back. Oh, he can't on mic for some reason. So we'll Terrence, you there?
Sorry about that. I'm in the car while it sounds a little louder.
Okay. So you wanted to finish up your thoughts? Okay. There's a lot of noise in the background. So we'll get Terrence another time, but I appreciate what he's talking about because building trust and authority makes you credible, makes you knowledgeable, someone worth partnering with. It attracts the right people. It creates a karma. Beginner investors want to talk to you. Passive investors want to talk to you. There's partnership discussions. There's referral programs because you're a deal maker. You're a volume maker. You're making the difference in the business. It allows you to scale easier online. When is education not a good strategy in marketing? If you're looking for fast cash buyers or sellers, if you're targeting seasoned investors, if you're not consistent, you got to build your email list. You got to build a long-term brand and social media presence. You got to show expertise and capture leads. You got to build deeper relationships. You got to keep in touch long-term, boosting credibility instantly. If you're building a personal brand, looking to raise capital, attract JV partners, or build a community, then yes, real estate meetings, real estate education, real estate social media arguably are the most powerful marketing strategy you could ever have. Now, being at events seals the deal. If you're not going out to 2 events a week as a real estate professional, you're not doing enough. You got to get out there, whether it's a daytime morning event, whether it's a evening event. You got to get to it. You got to hustle. So I think a lot of good information was provided here today. I think we really covered a lot of good stuff. And, I want to put the message out there for Memorial Day, which was originally known as Decoration Day. It's one of the federal holidays in the United States for honoring and mourning the U.S. military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. So I want to make sure we honor them for this day because we will not have a podcast tomorrow, of course, and thank them for their services. And if you know a military person, please thank them for their service as well. And yes, as somebody below is saying, leveraging AI, that was a whole nother discussion we had just a couple weeks ago. You can go back in our posts that we had on that, but we definitely recognize AI. I use AI every day, but that's a whole. If you don't have a marketing platform, you can't do AI. You got to have a social media presence. You got to have a platform. You got to sign up your Google business profile. You need some steps before you get the AI. AI is the next step. If you have no social media platforms and profiles, there's nothing to AI. That's the concern I have there. I want to thank our sponsors: Lenmark, Percatech, MB Capital Solutions, Realty 4-in-1, Elite Deal Makers, TCS Property Management Services. My name is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Birth Strategies podcast and founder of the Creative Birth Strategies House here on Clubhouse. I want to thank them as well. I don't recognize them enough for allowing me to host this here and allowing me to create this opportunity for myself and others to get to share every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank everybody for their time today. I think it was a very valuable room. We're not perfect here. We make little mistakes here and there. We'll do the best we can always, of course. And my quote this morning: be strong when you are weak. Be brave when you are scared. Be humble when you are victorious. Have a blessed Sunday morning. Take care of yourself. A great week. We'll see you next Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Creative Birth Strategies House and podcast. Take care, sir. I'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds.